Hey guys, this is part two. So apparently I was a little premature when I edited this photo the other day. I just snagged it off of Facebook, and I guess I got the one where baby's half cut off. And so I should have done the edit on this picture, but alas, I didn't. Okay, so the little cut off elbow here, or whatever that is, shoulder, is bothering me. So I am going to make a shoulder, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the crop tool. I always crop if I have to. If I can avoid it, I avoid it. And if I can't, I always do a 15:11 ratio. Don't ask me, ask Damien why. That's where I got it from. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out like this. That looks good, like that. Make sure content aware is checked and then hit OK. Alrighty. So we're going to create this line down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to filter and then liquify. Make sure it's the top tool here, the forward warp tool, if I didn't mention that. Let's make this a little smaller. And we're just going to kind of make this good enough, as I say. Trust me on this process. I'm going to make it big, big. I'm just going to give it a little smudgy just to make it a little bit that rounder look. And this is going to be good enough down here. That looks good to me. And we're going to hit OK. Awesome. All right, let's zoom in. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is Control J, make a new layer just in case you screw up. And we're going to go to the clone. Actually, you know what? What we're going to do, just because it's going to bother me, I'm going to get that little band-aid, and there's a little itty-bitty piece of hair right here. Okay. All right, we're going to go to the clone tool. 100% normal up here. I like having my float 100. Okay. And we're going to just kind of sample brush, sample brush, sample brush. Make it a little smaller, I guess. We're going to smooth this out later, so I'm not too worried. I'm going to show you something cool in 1 second, all right? Just give me a sec. Okay, now this mess down here, I think I'm just going to go to like, whatever, 40%. Get some nice, good blanket. And at a low opacity, kind of blend that in a little bit. Okay, so now with the clone stamp, we are going to select a good piece, like right here, and then bring that where we want it. And then we're going to go Alt, Shift, and then the arrow key, which is above the comma. And hold it, don't tap it, hold it still. It's slower than heck right now. All right, that's good. And then line it up and just do like, oh Lord, I have the opacity at 41. So I guess you gotta tap it a couple times. Tap that. All right, well that ended up looking fine. That's fine. All right, double tap the hand over here. Okay, we call that a good enough. Sweet. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and flatten that because I think that looks great. Okay, so the next thing we can do, I think, would be I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. I think if we do Control J, let's try it both ways and see what happens. Control J, click on the Move tool, and we're going to drag this. I forgot that's just a little low-res image, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Let's line up-ish over the baby like that. Then we're going to lower the opacity to like 48. Looks good. And that way you can really super line it up. That looks flawless right there. I'm like so tired I can't even see straight, so hang on a second, sorry. Okay, then we're going to raise the opacity back to 100. And let's just go ahead and flatten it. Well, actually, before we flatten it, oop, I can see that I didn't quite line it up. Let's lower the opacity again. Get the Move tool. I can't get it. I'm going to have to use my arrow key. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put a, hit the check mark. Now I'm wondering if it's two different babies. Holy crap. Hang on. Because this wrinkle, there we go, does not align with the ear. So I'm going to put a layer mask. And get a black brush. So hit X. I'm just going to soften. Now I'm going to get the Move tool. Whoops, going the wrong way. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to do before and after. Okay, that looks good. We're going to go ahead and flatten it and double tap the hand. Okay. Now, there's a million different ways to paint in the backdrop and, you know, select subject and blah, blah, blah. But I think what I'm going to do is just hit Control J to make a layer. I'm going to get my paintbrush and I'm going to make it big. This is like the lazy way because I'm exhausted. And I'm just going to keep sampling. You'll see in a second. Trust the process. And then I'm going to lower the opacity to like 45 just so we can blend a little bit down in here. Let's get it a little bit lower to like even like 30%. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer mask on layer 1, but I'm going to hit Alt before I do it. So Alt, layer mask. That inverts it, okay? And then we're going to get a white brush at 100%. Right click, make sure it's all the way 0% hardness. Then we're going to just paint it. What we just did, but only where we want it. That looks good. All right. I think that's something that as a mom with kids that close in age, my kids are a year apart too, so I know what it's like when my son was 1 and my daughter was newborn. So anyway, as a mom, I think she would absolutely love this. This would be huge in my living room. So anyway, that's how I kind of merged these two pictures together. Enjoy.